Hello, everyone. So, I am doing a full moon ritual. So, if you're hopping on, feel free to say hello, and hopefully, the lighting is okay. And I also have my painting here that I did. And again, the lighting looks kind of crappy. But anyway, we're here and we're doing this. So, oh, I'm getting paint everywhere. So the first thing anyway that I'm seeing in our painting that I did, based on the energy is even just right now, there's a lot of yellow popping up, and yellow is telling me that we're currently working on the solar plexus. And for people that don't know, the solar plexus is very much related to our confidence and our courage. And so, where we are working with that Leo energy, it's a really important that we are releasing things that are blocking us from feeling safe, from feeling open, from basically things that make us feel fearless. Okay. So, the first thing we're going to do is get out a piece of paper. So, if you don't have one, I'd recommend getting one. And then the other thing that, even just the fact that this there's like paint here is kind of coming up for me as well. So like the fact that there's also like purple and red in this, it's telling me that we are working on spirituality right now as well. So aside from working towards goals, we're also connecting to finding our spiritual path. So what is our purpose as well? And as we are just talking about safety, I'm getting that it's really important that we're connecting to what we need as well. So I have amethyst here as well with us. So if you want to bring anything else into your space that you feel like is helpful for you to amplify this energy, that is a great idea. And even the fact that I was kind of like creating a little bit of a tree and a feather here, kind of looks like an arrow to me. I'm thinking that grounding is also really important for us at this moment in time. So if you are actually doing the ritual with me, then you're going to write down the full moon in Leo. And again, we're going to burn this after we do it as well. And then I have February 16th, 2022. I just like to write the date down. And the other significance with the energy of Leo is that we want to take note that it's related to the element of fire. And so fire is really about that creativity and that energy of moving forward, right? So you might find right now that you're going through a little bit of a transition period in your life. And so if you could even connect to where you feel like there's too much fire in your life, what would that be? If you could just pick out where there might be too much fire, too much of something. Okay, so for me, I'm finding that there's too much pain around me. And so when I think about pain, I think about people who are sad, um, people who aren't happy, things like that. Okay, so that's kind of where can you can also share this if you like to, but where do you feel like there's too much fire in your life, right? So um, pain in others for me, and that's kind of something that I'm finding. I'm shifting over to working with happy people. So, and being around happy people because I am happy, so it's really important that I'm surrounding myself by people like that. So, and then also when you connect to a transition period as well, what are you going through right now? That just write down what's happening in your life. What are you experiencing where you actually are changing? What is a change going on in your life? So I know that there's pain for me, but if I could write down, and not getting too detailed either, but whatever comes up for you, just write down. And again, this is private, so people don't need to see it. So we usually do this in a sacred space. And I also have like my sage and rose spray that I'm using tonight. I also did some grounding stuff before I came on. So I could be in a space where I really want to open up to forgiveness as well. So by identifying with these things, it's really helpful. Okay. So if I could say where I'm transitioning, I would say for me, it's more related to time management in general. Okay. It feels like I've been working on time. I've been putting time limits with things that I'm doing. So, even like this is the last full moon ritual I'm going to be doing in a live setting. I'll still be doing them, but just not in a live setting. But so that's like a perfect example of how there's like pain in others for me. And again, I'd love to hear, even if you're watching later, and time management. And so even now what you want to do is put them together. When you think about for instance, or for me with my time management and pain, how that might affect, like how that might affect me in a negative way if I kind of start to look at that specifically. And then I start to go into my statements here. So I release, and then whatever comes up for you. So I release feeling pressure from public authorities or authority figures. That's what's coming up for me. So I release feeling pressure from public authority figures. Okay. So I'm putting kind of stuff that comes up around the pain of others or how I'm feeling about that with the time management. Okay. So this is just a great way to kind of connect to that fire element. And then the other thing we're going to look at is when we connect to the energy of Leo, they're feminine. Okay. So when you look at your life right now, exactly where you are in the right here in the now, what time is it? In the 7:08 o'clock. Are you balanced in your feminine? Right? Chances are you're not, because like this wouldn't be coming up if you were, right? Like you wouldn't be watching this. This is kind of why we're releasing, is so that we can balance. So if you look at your feminine energy, whether it's your if you might be too in your masculine, right? I've talked about this in the reading already. Meaning you might be sometimes want to control things. Maybe you analyze, maybe you have anxiety, right? Things like that. These are the things that you want to release, are where you feel like you're not balanced feminine wise. You might feel like you don't have enough time for yourself. You're not taking enough care of yourself, right? Think about the intuition or the creative side. Are you taking time to do those creative projects? Probably why, as I was saying, that like paint was there. Um, and the perfectionist side of ourselves, right? Like even just how I have, like now I have paint on my computer. It's the stress that comes from, again, even some pressure that you might put on yourself, whether it's from society or your relationships or work, whatever it is. Okay. So now you're gonna write what comes up for you around being out of balance with that feminine side. So I release feeling stressed, whatever comes up for you, okay? Just trust it. This is kind of a flowing process as well. And then just taking a couple deep breaths as you're doing this. And by the way, starting March 1st until March 22nd, every Tuesday at 6:15 p.m. Atlantic Standard Time for 45 minutes, I'm going to be doing a new program. It's $13 to join each class that you come into. It's a group setting. We're going to be doing meditation, Reiki, theta healing, breath work, and Akashic Records readings as well. So we're going to be doing lots of healings and clearings, and it's called Relax. So now you can go into my website, book online, and you can actually sign up and you'll get the Zoom link. All right. So as we just kind of come into that more balanced state, we're going to write down anything that comes up for you that's just bothering you right now, anything that's blocking you. I release feeling tense in my hormones. And then just taking a deep breath. And um, when it comes to even the date of today being the 16th, six is a number of beauty and balance as well. So, where we were just talking about confidence and things, also, where do you feel out of balance with beauty in your life? Do you feel like you're not as attractive as you would like to be? Do you feel like you're not appreciating things as much as you would like to be? Are there things that you'd like to be doing in your life that you're currently not doing? And if so, just um write something down around that. I release feeling strain. Maybe you want to share similar things that I have here. And then one is also in the number 16, and one represents new beginnings. So we are starting something new. And so when you think about this new thing that you're beginning, what is it? Again, I shared this in the reading as well. What are you attracting around this full moon as well? What is your new start? Right? So for me, especially if you kind of go back up to that fire element in the transition period, chances are you've attracted that into your life already because there's something that you want and therefore there's something you need to clear. So for me, it's as I was already talking about, working with people that are happy, being around people that are happy. And then also feeling like with that time management that I'm working with people that are laid back. And again, I'm around people that are laid back, that are more like open and like understanding of emotions and things like that. So my new beginning would basically be, yeah, just being happier. By being around other people, it's going to make me happy, right? So I release so the opposite, right, of all those things that I want. So I release feeling crazy. So you can keep it simple as well. So this is where we don't want to put too much down because often what's going to happen is after this, we're going to burn the piece of paper. You might want to smudge during, again, as we calm the energy. Crystals, again, are really helpful. But then after you burn the piece of paper, you want to kind of resmudge and just kind of come into that new opening and feel really good about it. So by not writing too much down, it's going to be helpful because you'd be surprised by how much this actually is. So the other aspect is one and six adds up to be seven, and we were already kind of talking about the importance of spirituality as well. So spirituality is actually taking time for ourselves. So around full moons, we always take more time to do things that are important for us. So it might be taking a bath, something like that. So right after this, after I burn this, I plan on taking kind of like a full moon bath and doing my own little practice that I do that way as well with some like oils and salts and just kind of like pampering myself and like really connecting to what it is that I need. So really make sure that again you're allowing yourself after this to do some of these things. And as I said, I did some before, but it's mainly for you guys as you're learning just after making sure that you're doing that. So really continue to take deep breaths through this. The other thing that we notice is we're in 2022 just as a general theme. I've already done a monthly for February and all astrological sign readings as well a yearly reading, and then soon I'm going to be doing our March general reading. One thing we're noticing is that it's really important that we're really connecting to our relationships. So, yes, it's great to focus on ourselves, but it's also really important, as I was sharing, to acknowledge, who you're looking to attract in your life, what quality things do you need in a relationship, whether you're single or married, what's important for you. Often around full moons, we're really kind of connecting more to yes, balancing, but maybe there are boundaries that you need to put in place in your relationships. Maybe you're outgrowing some of the people in your life, and that's challenging, right? So really focusing in on again, gratitude at this time. And maybe you want to add that, like I release, an old relationship. So I'm going to put, I release fear of long term planning, right? So that's what's coming up for me. And then we look, as I was sharing about the clock, when it was 7:08, when I said really focusing in on where you are in this here and now moment. Seven is our number of really taking more rest. So around full moons, a lot of times people don't sleep very well. They dream a lot. They're more irritated. They're more upset. Um, they can feel very confused. They can be very uncertain about things. They're kind of going to this like weird space, and everybody's different depending on what sign you are. So you can also share what sign you are. I'm an Aries, so there's a fire in my sign. So I'm definitely like today as I was painting. Again, it's kind of hard to see here. But I spent some time in that fire energy working with this full moon, and I was talking about yellow, but there's also like this really soft blue in here, and soft blue's always been my favorite color, because it's very gentle. And so you might be finding that your heart chakra right now is in need of feeling more gentle, because today when I was picking out colors, I was picking out like nice greens, and more like nature connection, and the purple for spirituality. So that's telling me like the reason why we're doing this practice is to really help us with our heart space, and to be able to feel like we're healing in our heart, so we can, by the time the new moon comes up, there's more space for those loving relationships, or there's more space for the self-care that we really want, right? The feelings that we're desiring. So when I looked at the clock, it also had an 8 in it, and 8 is also telling us that we're taking action on things, right? Um, we're starting something maybe that we've always been wanting to do, and that takes a lot of effort. So if you don't, um, give yourself more pleasure, and speak to yourself in kind ways at this time, you might find that that's lowering your energy as well. So, raising your vibration by telling yourself, like, it's okay to take time for myself. It's okay for me to even like do some of these rituals, stop everything else, and just do these types of things more often. So it's only like it only takes really 5 minutes to do this practice, right? So just simple things like that, and then when we put 7 and 8 together, we get 15. And that's also telling us that, again, we're going through change. So when we are going through times of transition, um, it's not comfortable. So if you're not feeling comfortable right now, um, that's okay. We're doing these things so that we can become more comfortable with where we are, right? So it's normal if you're not feeling great right now, just to let you know. And for people that don't know, I do a lot of shadow work. And so if people ask, what is shadow work? That's basically what we're doing is we're acknowledging where we're not satisfied. And then by releasing these things and holding space for ourselves, we're gonna go through the emotions related to uh, what it takes to kind of let the things go. So if we say we want to let go of those things, then we're making room we're making room for change, right? And so if you don't like change, then you maybe want to write two things down. If you like change and you're open to healing, then maybe write another 10 things down. But remind yourself of what your theme is, okay? So that when things start to change, you can kind of acknowledge what what some of the stuff is associated with, right? When you're feeling extremely emotional, or for instance, like if your hormones are starting to do some things, right? So they can come into balance. Sometimes we have to go out of balance in order to come back into balance. Or if you feel like right now you're not on your path, on your spiritual path, well, that's okay, because sometimes again we have to go off of our spiritual path in order to get on it. So be proud of yourself that you're making these changes. So now we're going to say, please allow this to be released in divine timing. Thank you. You can say that or something better if you want to, but thank you, Robin. And then again, just really finding your breath here while you're doing this practice. So that's basically what my paper looks like. Full moon in Leo, February 16th, 2022. We're working with feminine energy with the fire sign, going through a period of transition. I release feeling pressure from public authority figures. I release feeling stressed. I release feeling tense in my hormones. I release feeling strain. I release feeling crazy. Keep in mind, guys, this could be like from years ago. This could be from past life. It doesn't matter. We don't analyze it. So don't be afraid to write what comes down naturally. I release fear of long-term planning. Please allow this to be released in divine timing, that or something better. Thank you, Robin. So I can label it full moon ritual. Typically, I would share this with anybody, and then I would go straight to my fire pit, or just go like put it in a bowl, maybe where you burn your sage, things like that, and just make sure you're doing it outside, and that maybe you just take a candle outside with you, whatever it is. But we don't hold on to this. That is a no-no. And we really focus in on the gratitude of being able to do these practices. And so I always look forward to it on a monthly basis. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. And thanks so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And again, if you're interested in joining my Relax program on Tuesday nights for March 1st until March 22nd, go into robinsealing.com, and you can book there and you'll get the Zoom link. Bye for now. Take care.